Okay, picture this. You've got a killer idea for a software product. But instead of the usual grind, months, maybe even years of work, you get it launched in a single night. I know, it sounds crazy, but that is the core of what we're breaking down today, how a complete software-as-a-service product, a minimum viable product, was built from absolute scratch, literally overnight.
So the big question is that for real? Is that even possible? Or is it just some developer's fever dream after way too much coffee? Well, that's what we're going to dig into today. We're going to see if this is just a fantasy or if it's the new reality of building things. All right, so let's set the scene here. This wasn't just some casual weekend project. Nope, this was a full-on challenge, a mission with a crazy deadline. Go from just an idea in your head to a live deployed product, all before the sun comes up.
And the goal here was seriously ambitious. We're not talking about just hacking some code together. We're talking about going from a totally blank page to a working product that actual people could sign up for and use. The finish line? Sunrise. No pressure, right?
You know, any big mission needs two things: a clear objective and the right tools for the job. So let's get into the what, the actual product idea, and then the how, which is the really fascinating part, the specific tech stack that was picked to make this insane speed possible.
So the idea itself, it was a simple but super useful landing page builder. The kind of thing that lets, a musician or a small shop owner quickly throw together a beautiful looking page for an event, a product, or their portfolio. We're talking customizable designs, easy drag and drop sections, the whole deal. Okay, now this is where things get wild. The tech stack they used was not your grandpa's development toolkit. Every single piece of this was chosen for one reason and one reason only: pure, unadulterated speed. You've got ChatGPT doing the planning, an AI code editor called Cursor writing the code, and this thing called Supabase that just handles the entire backend. This whole setup is what made this one-night sprint even remotely possible.
So instead of thinking about this as just a list of software, the way to look at it is like assembling an AI dream team. Each tool had a very specific, very critical role to play in pulling off this mission.
First up on the team, you have ChatGPT. But here's the twist. It wasn't the coder. It was the project manager. Its job was to take all those messy, chaotic brainstorm ideas and turn them into a clear, step-by-step plan. And then it created the exact instructions, the prompts, to hand off to the coder.
And that brings us to the star player, the one doing the heavy lifting, Cursor. This AI-powered code editor was the supercoder. It took the plan from ChatGPT, and with just a few more plain English commands, it built the entire front end of the application. We're talking about turning simple sentences into real, clean code in seconds. Not hours, not days, seconds. It's just incredible.
So while Cursor was busy building what the user sees, Supabase was the backend wizard working its magic behind the scenes. Now, anyone who's ever tried to build an app knows that setting up user accounts, logins, databases, it's a huge pain. It can take forever. Supabase basically makes all that complexity just vanish. It provides a ready-to-go backend, which saved a massive amount of time.
So the dream team was in place, the plan was set, but did they actually pull it off? Let's take a look at the final product, the proof that this really happened, and, just as importantly, the problems and compromises you have to make when you're moving this fast.
And the answer is a huge yes. It absolutely worked. By the time morning rolled around, there was a live, functioning product. A real user could actually go to the site, sign in, pick a template, drag and drop sections to customize it, and then hit a button to make their page live on the internet. This wasn't just a prototype. It was the real deal.
But, and this is a really big but, that speed came at a cost. You don't move that fast without making some sacrifices. The code wasn't perfect, not by a long shot. There were bugs. Some of the usual security checks, yeah, they were skipped to save time. The goal was never perfection. The goal was function. Does it work? Yes. Is it flawless? Absolutely not.
And that really gets to the core philosophy of what an MVP, a minimum viable product, is all about. I love this quote. An MVP's job is to test an idea, not win an award for cleanest code. The whole point is to find out if your idea has legs as quickly and as cheaply as you can. You can always go back and clean up the code later if people actually want to use the thing.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about what might be the most mind-blowing part of this whole story. What did it actually cost to pull this off?
Just look at this breakdown. It's almost hard to believe. $20 for the pro version of the AI coder, a direct investment in going faster, another $20 for ChatGPT Plus, and you could probably even get by with the free version.
Hosting, $0 thanks to a free tier. And then, of course, the one night of labor, the sweat equity.
So the total amount of money out of pocket to build a working software company from nothing? $40. $40. And one night.
And that brings us to what I think is the most powerful lesson from this entire experiment. For so long, the excuse for not building that idea you have has always been, oh, it's too complicated, or it's too expensive, or I don't have the technical skills. Well, that's just not the case anymore. The real barrier today isn't technical. The barrier is just starting.
What this whole one-night challenge proves is that we are in a completely new era of making things. These AI tools that are available right now can take what used to be months of painful work and compress it into a single evening. The gap between having an idea and actually executing on it has never, ever been smaller.
Which really leaves us with just one final question. This isn't just some cool tech story. It's a challenge, really. It's a challenge to all of us. If the cost is this low and the tools are this powerful, the only thing holding you back is taking that first step. So what's that idea you've been sitting on? What will you start building?